Hey guys, tonight we drift into the swaying world of the high seas, creaking wood beneath your feet, salty air clinging to your clothes, and somewhere overhead, the rhythmic snap of a sail catching wind. You duck beneath a low beam, nearly knocking your forehead on it for the fourth time today, and drop into the dim belly of the ship, the pirate cabin. It smells intriguing, a bit like sweaty boots, wet rope, and something that may once have been fruit. Welcome aboard. You probably won't survive this. Pirate life isn't exactly ergonomic. You sleep curled between crates of gunpowder and a sailor who whistles in his sleep. And yet somehow, among the mildew and musket oil, pirates manage to make space for something oddly domestic: decorating. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And if you're feeling chatty, post your location and local time in the comments. It's always a cozy treat seeing where everyone is tuning in from. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You start by eyeing your space. A cabin in name only, more like a wooden closet. You're allowed a sliver of personal territory below deck, and while it's more moldy than majestic, it's yours. That means the bare beams and hammock ropes are fair game for whatever personal flair you can muster. And if you're like most pirates in the 18th century, flair comes in the form of dried fruit. Not exactly what you'd expect from men who pillage and plunder. But pirates were bored, a lot. Long voyages meant days, even weeks, of nothing to do but wait for wind, whales, or war. So you string orange peels along your bunk line like tiny sunbursts. You hang a shriveled lime slice from a nail like a kind of citrus dream catcher. It smells slightly less horrible than the salt pork. Slightly. You're not alone in this habit. Pirates came from everywhere. Former Navy men, escaped slaves, merchant deserters, and they brought little bits of home with them. A sailor from the Caribbean might dry pineapple rings and press them into the wooden walls like fruit wallpaper. A Portuguese gunner might string lemon rinds in a tiny garland around his hammock post, hoping it reminds him of Lisbon's breezy markets. It was nostalgic, fragrant, and, let's be honest, a conversation starter. "Nice banana rind you got there, mate," someone might mutter. "Ta," you'd reply, pretending it isn't growing fuzz. Dried fruit served another purpose too, pretending you were healthier than you were. Scurvy, the great vitamin C thief, was a constant threat. While citrus could help, fresh supplies didn't last long at sea. So pirates dried what they could, knowing full well it did almost nothing medicinally. But, hey, it's the thought that counts. Plus, chewing on a leathery strip of apple skin gave your jaw something to do besides clench during cannon fire. Historians still argue whether pirates genuinely believed dried fruit could fight off scurvy, or if it was just a stubborn maritime placebo. Either way, hanging up a few raisins like decorative barnacles made you feel proactive. And if you could sneak a sprig of cinnamon bark in there, now we're talking haute couture, pirate edition. Decorating also worked as a mental anchor. In a world where your daily routine swung from peeling potatoes to avoiding cutlasses, having a tiny, shriveled orange slice swinging gently above your bunk gave you a sense of control. You couldn't steer the ship, but you could arrange a pineapple slice just so. And let's not forget the smell. A cabin full of unwashed men, wet wood, and salted meat was not a spa. Citrus helped. A dried orange tied near your pillow wasn't just flair, it was defense. Pirates were inventing scent zoning centuries before scented candles. One popular fringe trend? Dried fruit mosaics. Using little slivers of papaya or guava peel, When available, some pirates crafted basic images, crude skulls, ships, or initials, on their cabin walls, held together with pine resin or spit, depending on the mood. It wasn't exactly the Sistine Chapel, but it beat staring at splintery planks. So here you are, laying back in your hammock, the ship creaking softly beneath you. A sliver of dried mango swings above your head like a sticky pendulum. You fall asleep to the smell of salt and orange peel, listening to a crewmate 2 bunks down snore like a foghorn. You've managed to turn a floating crate of chaos into a kind of floating fruit basket. Not bad for someone who bathes once a season. Your hammock rocks with the rhythm of the waves, and as your eyes drift open again, you catch sight of your proudest decoration, a brittle arc of dried orange peel hanging from the low beam above. It sways gently, perfuming the stale air with a scent that's somewhere between citrus and ship's biscuit. You reach up and nudge it, then smile. That's not just garnish, that's status. See, in the peculiar social swirl of pirate life, dried fruit wasn't just about nostalgia or stench control, it was flair. And flair, oddly enough, mattered. A lot. On a pirate ship, where there was no uniform, and the only rank that really counted was how loud you could shout or how sharp your cutlass looked, little things made big impressions. Your orange peel, that's hand-cut. The edges curled just so. The coloring still bright. You didn't chew it. You saved it. That shows restraint. That shows taste. And yes, that shows you're a man or woman of decorative ambition. Because the pirate aesthetic? It wasn't all skulls and sabers. It was about personality in tiny, bizarre doses. One quartermaster on the Dancing Harpy, a brigantine famous mostly for capsizing twice, was known for braiding dried banana skins into thin ropes and dangling them like garlands over his footlocker. Another, a Trinidadian cook who went by Mama Salt, wove orange peels into little wreaths that she hung beside her frying pan. Supposedly, one of her citrus loops survived an entire Atlantic crossing. A miracle? Possibly. A bad omen? According to the bosun, definitely. Even pirates who didn't decorate still had dried fruit tucked into personal gear. Some kept little pouches of desiccated plum in their sea chests, partly to suck on in rough weather, but also because the dark wrinkled skins reminded them of home, of taverns, or grandmothers, or in one case, of a particularly unlucky parrot. Of course, dried fruit wasn't the only thing hanging from walls and hammocks. There were beads, bits of cloth, playing cards, broken spoons with sentimental value, and the occasional dead rat hung up as a joke, or warning. But fruit had its edge. It was fragrant, delicate, and temporary. It said, "I care about this weird little space. I care enough to dry a mango in secret and not eat it." That's dedication. It also sparked rivalry. You start noticing your bunkmates' lemon slices are arranged in a neat, symmetrical triangle. Intentional? Probably. Passive-aggressive? Definitely. And now you're rearranging your guava peels into the shape of a turtle. Your friend down the corridor catches wind of this, and suddenly he's showing off a whole pomelo rind dried into a bowl. There's no rule book for this. Pirates weren't exactly interior designers, but it all felt strangely competitive. Whose cabin smelled the best? Whose looked the least like a floating coffin? Who had the rarest fruit hanging like dried jewels? One captain from the Indian Ocean once awarded extra grog to the sailor with the most innovative use of pineapple. That sailor had used it to plug a leak. Art meets function. Historians still argue whether these decorative habits were truly widespread, or just the eccentricities of a few imaginative crewmen. But ship logs, journals, and scattered archaeological finds do support the idea that pirates personalized their living spaces in ways far beyond what we expect. And fruit? Fruit was everywhere. In medicine, in meals, and yes, in murals made of mango slivers. By now, your cabin is a masterpiece of dried produce. The beam above you hosts a fan-shaped arrangement of citrus skins. Your hammock ropes have braided orange threads, and in one glorious corner, a half-dried papaya slice rests like a wilted medal of honor. It's not exactly Pinterest-worthy, but in this floating chaos of rum barrels, cannonballs, and unpredictable tempers, it's calm. Yours. And calm was rare. Life on a pirate ship was high stress, low privacy, and dangerously unstable. Between the mutinies, storms, and occasional flying splinters, having a bit of fruit art gave your soul something to grip. The best part? It made people chuckle. Pirates were rough, yes, but they laughed. And the sight of someone earnestly brushing off dust from a preserved lime hanging above their pillow brought a kind of tenderness to the otherwise brash world of naval crime. One crewman on the Sea Wasp even carved a smiley face into a dried apple slice and nailed it beside the latrine. To keep spirits up, he said. Whether he meant the mood or the ghosts was never quite clear. So here you are again, hammock swaying. You glance around at the little details. Dried star fruit garlands near the ceiling. That half-eaten banana rind someone pinned up like a badge of honor. The faint hum of snores and sea. Even pirates, it turns out, needed to feel at home. And now, with the lanterns dimmed and the waves lapping softly against the hull, it's time to let the story drift away. You imagine yourself lying there, in that little wooden cocoon, surrounded by strange keepsakes, swaying slightly with the sea. The scent of dried citrus and warm salt air clings lightly to your thoughts, like the last notes of a lullaby. Your body is weightless now, like it's rocked by the rhythm of old ropes and gentle tides. You've survived storms, seen stars spill across the sky, traded laughs over hardtack and dried mango. Somehow, even in this hard-edged life, you've found beauty in the smallest things. A curling peel, a dangling lime, a shipmate's quiet snore from the bunk above. No need to remember the battles or the noise, just this quiet moment, this scent-soaked little cabin, gently bobbing in an ocean of dreams. The fruit garlands sway like slow dancers. Your hammock cradles you like a sigh. Whatever waves come tomorrow, tonight belongs to calm. You breathe in, soft and slow. You exhale like the tide. The sea hushes its song, and everything fades into a citrus-scented dark. Sleep easy, sailor.